Hi, Oregon homeowners, do I have a message for you? If you're thinking about selling your house right now, you might be about to negotiate against yourself. Let me explain. Because here's the weird part about everything that's happening right now. Yes, there are buyers out there, but right now the market is giving buyers more options, like the most options they've had in 4 years. And when buyers have options, they ask for price cuts, repairs, closing costs, all of it, the whole kit and caboodle. That's what you can expect. And in Portland specifically, the data shows it's a buyer's market. Roughly 49% more sellers than buyers as of late 2025, right? Fourth quarter. So unless you're in a very specific Goldilocks zone home, selling right now can mean you're going to give up a lot of leverage. And that leverage it was something that you didn't have to give up. Let's talk leverage in plain English. Let me explain this to you. When there are more sellers than buyers, buyers don't feel urgency. They don't feel any pressure. They feel like they have a lot of choice. And choice is power, especially in a negotiation, which is basically my entire job, is to negotiate on your behalf. Redfin's latest buyers versus sellers analysis shows Portland sitting at about 49.2% more sellers than buyers. That's firmly like a buyer's market. There's no mistaking it. And that's the territory by definition. What does that look like on the ground, you might ask? It looks like fewer no contingency offers, more repair requests, more price reductions, more we love the home, but we're going to go see 2 more this weekend. Guess why? Because there's that many more just in your neighborhood, right? And statewide, Oregon market trend dashboards and updates show a cooler, more selective environment than the frenzy era like we'd had during COVID. More normal marketing time, more negotiation, and more differentiation between homes that are truly special versus homes that are just like available, like most of them. Again, if you're outside the Goldilocks zone, it's not going to be doing well for you. Translation: if your home isn't the obvious best option in its price bracket, buyers will treat it like it's just another run-of-the-mill house. It has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. Otherwise, it's not good enough. And if you can wait, waiting may give you more leverage. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying don't sell your house. What I'm saying is only sell it if it makes complete sense, right? So now let's zoom out. Let's pan. Because 2026 is not just about inventory, it's about policy and mortgage rates. In early January 2026, President Trump announced he's directing Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to buy $200 billion in mortgage-backed securities. Basically, mortgage bonds, right? And I have another video on that on my page. So on my page, you can go look up what a bond is. But for those who've been following, let's get back to it. With a stated goal of pushing mortgage rates down and making housing more affordable. That kind of large-scale buying is very similar in spirit to quantitative easing. A lot like QE that I had mentioned again in that other bond video. When a massive buyer steps in and buys bonds, it can push bond prices up and yields down, which can translate into lower mortgage rates. Right? That sounds great, right? And Real Estate News reported that investors reacted positively and rates fell after the mortgage bond purchase directive was announced. So the market took it quite seriously because the market has its own pulse. Do we know exactly how far rates will drop, Jeremiah? No, absolutely not. Do we know when, Jeremiah? No, absolutely not. We don't know because it's up to the market. The market has its own mind and pulse that we create through our spending. But here's what matters if you're a homeowner. Even a modest improvement in affordability can bring buyers more off the sidelines in 2026. And more buyers, qualified buyers, by the way, changes the leverage equation. So again, if you can wait, waiting may give you more leverage. All right, let's talk future leverage, right, versus our current leverage. Let me make this real with 2 quick scenarios. Scenario A, you list right now. You're a solid home, a good home, probably the best home I've ever seen. No, I'm kidding. Not the best home in the neighborhood, not fully updated. Maybe the roof is fine, but not new. Maybe it's 5 years old, 6 years old. Maybe the kitchen is a little dated, right? Maybe needs an update. In a buyer-leaning market like Portland, where sellers outnumber buyers by 49%, that's almost by half, by the way, the buyer is likely to negotiate just because, guess what? Just because they can, right? So they might say, we'll buy it, but we want $15,000 off. or we walk, or we want repairs, or we walk, or we want closing costs, or we walk, right? So notice there's a trend here. They have leverage and they know it. And because they have options, you feel pressured to say yes because your agent, if they're a comparable agent, will tell you. All right, let's talk about plan B. Let's say mortgage affordability improves and slightly, even slightly, because mortgage bond buying pushes rates down dramatically, which is unlikely. But let's say it does. Excuse me, every time we have this episode, I'm burping. Whatever. Downer improves the market sentiment around rates, right? And again, this is the mortgage rates being pushed down by this giant quantitative easing. More buyers can qualify. More buyers re-enter the market. More buyers compete. And when buyers compete, sellers gain leverage again. Now, this hasn't happened since, again, post-COVID. Maybe you don't get a crazy 2021 style bidding war, but you can often get cleaner terms, fewer concessions, less nitpicking, tighter timelines. Fewer, we're going to think about it for a week, or fewer, we walk, right? So less of that hard negotiation. So I'm not saying never sell. I'm saying don't accidentally sell during the part of the cycle where you're giving away leverage, especially if you don't have to. And one more time, if you can wait, waiting may give you more leverage. Again, I'll say if you can wait, waiting may give you, the seller, more leverage. Now, let me define the Goldilocks zone. So what is a Goldilocks zone, Jeremiah? I'll tell you, random person watching this video. It's the minority of homes that are just right for today's buyer. The location, the condition, the price point, all line up in a way that is so delicious to the market, in a buyer's market, that they still command very strong terms and no negotiation. Here's what typically puts a home in a Goldilocks zone. Exceptional location or school pocket, where buyers are emotionally attached to the area, right? Did we hear the words? Did we hear the key words here? Turnkey condition, updated, clean, staged well, no obvious big ticket deferred maintenance like a massive, furnace replacement or foundation or, maybe a sliding sediment, whatever it might be. Price segment with low competition, meaning there aren't 10 similar homes near it for the same on sale, right? Unique lifestyle values, views, walkability, lot privacy, a huge ADU potential to make some cash out of it, or layout buyers can't easily find elsewhere, right? There's got a really good layout. It's got a good structure. 3 Portland area examples that often behave like Goldilocks listings, even when broader market softens, are going to be like turnkey, well-located craftsmen or bungalows near top walkable streets. Typically, again, priced strategically. Strategically. These are big words, right? You'll hear this a lot from a lot of realtors. Strategically. What does strategically mean? It means it's priced well and maybe even a little bit under to get people to buy up, right? And this is what a good realtor will tell you. We want to get them to bid so we can go back up. Because if we have demand, now we have leverage. A modern move-in ready townhome attached to a high demand pocket with parking and a clean HOA would be perfect. A view-oriented property where the view is a huge feature and the comps don't feel interchangeable. Again, pretty good. And to be clear, this isn't hype. This is how markets work when sellers outnumber buyers. Only the best-in-class listings get to keep their leverage. So here's the practical next step. What do we do, Jeremiah? What do we do in this market? I'll tell you. Just go ahead and rest your shoulder right there. I'll tell you. If you must sell, job change, divorce, estate, baby, whatever, you can still win by choosing me. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You don't have to. But you need a strategy built for a buyer-leaning market. Pricing, prep, positioning, and negotiation. If you don't have to sell, let's run the numbers and the timing. Send me a DM, reach out, hit the link in the bio, ask me, I'd like to get your report, your sell versus now, or sell now versus wait strategy, right? Or you can just book a session and we can just talk about it, right? It costs you nothing to come over here and talk to me and tell me what's going on with your situation. And I'll tell you, either you're in the zone or you should hold on. I'll look at your neighborhood, your exact price bracket, how your home stacks up against the competition, basically a full CMA. I'll tell you if you're in the Goldilocks zone again, and if waiting could realistically improve your leverage as affordability shifts going into the first, second, and third quarter of 2026. Thank you so much for sticking around. If you have watched this video, I appreciate you so much. Like and subscribe if it gave you value. Send it to somebody who it might. If you're entering the market, always remember, if you choose me, you're going to be doing a little bit better than the competition. If you don't, I'll see you on the competition.